Hi, I'm Jen.
Amanda.
Kathleen.
And we are the team at Yarnia, Montclair's local yarn store. And this is the second episode of Chronicles of Yarnia, our podcast, because I can talk.
That's fine.
No, whatever. All right, so we're going to start off with talking a little bit about stuff around Montclair. One of the first things that people are starting to recognize Montclair for, Montclair, New Jersey, just in case you're confused.
There is another big Montclair
There
in
is another Montclair in California.
Yes.
So anytime you Google Montclair, every so often
Montclair
I'm like...
High.
Exactly. Especially Montclair High School. I'm like, I didn't know we were doing that.
I was like,
oh, it's California.
Hi, California peeps.
Hi. We don't live there. East Coast. So one of the first things that it's actually becoming known for is the Montclair Film Festival, which is an amazing program that they put together, and they have a fantastic, a lot of films that come to town, and they do some great children's programming as well, which, you know, we're all parents. We all like that kind of thing. But the Montclair Film Festival this year in 2019 is May 3rd through 12th. So we're all getting excited for it. I cannot wait to get the brochure, the catalog, because then you can sit there and pick all of the movies that you want to see and then try to figure out how you're physically going to do it.
How are you going to put it all in, right?
Yeah, this weekend, the team from Montclair Film Festival came by and put our picture in the window. All the school kids, always draw pictures of their favorite movies, and they're on the front windows of businesses around town. So that's what reminded me, it's coming.
Yeah. And actually, one more thing, because we are an advertiser this year, and we're participating in their PIN program. One of the things that they do when you go to one of the films is you can pick up a pin on your way out, and then lots of stores in town and in the area have special offers for people with pins. So we are participating. Cool. Yay, that'll be exciting.
Fun. I love seeing the posters that the kids draw around town. I remember a couple of years ago, I was down on Church Street, and in the window of one of the stores, and it may have been East Side Mags, which is the Montclair comic book store, was like a second grader whose favorite movie was Bloodsport, and I was like, I love that kid. He's awesome. And I went in and I told the guys at the comic book store, and I was like, please tell me, is that one of your kids? They're like, no, but we got to pick that guy. And I was like, yes, attaboy. Yeah. But it's such a great like community thing going on, and I think the PIN program is so fun. I've done that. I've gone the last couple of years, and I've done the PIN thing, and it's great.
So where are the theaters?
They have them all over town. So there's the theater downtown on Bloomfield, which is the Clare Ridge. I don't think they can use the Bellevue Theater anymore because it closed about a year ago, which is a bummer. But they
do
also
some at
have,
MKA, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They do MKA. They've shown them at the Wellmont last year.
Yes, yeah.
I think it was last year.
Some of the big ones were at the Wellmont because it holds the most.
And a lot of times they have like a Q&A afterwards. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. They had Andre Leontali from Vogue.
Oh, fun.
And he did, like, it was the documentary about him, which is, his life is fascinating. And then he came out and he was amazing. And he took questions from the audience.
Wow.
And, like, there was one woman who had a question, and she had this gorgeous skirt, which may have been a Sophistafunk skirt.
Probably.
And, which is another local Montclair brand. And he was like, sweetie, you're coming up on the stage and, like, do a twirl. It was great. It's such a great events for the town. We love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Definitely.
I'm super excited.
All right. So something else that's been happening around town that I attended this past weekend, and there are opportunities for people to do the next few weeks, is Boomerang Bags, which is a sewing bee, basically.
Wow.
That's so awesome.
Claire from Montclair made, one of the brands that we carry in the store, put together, and it's a reuse, recycle type thing. And basically she gets people together, and you don't need to know how to sew, but if you can, that's even better. You know,
has jobs for everybody.
Exactly. That's how she puts it, and it's so true. There's jobs for everybody. But I think we made about 20 bags this weekend.
Wow.
And
that's cool.
I was only there for the last hour. People were cranking ahead of me. It was really nice, but to get there and work with different people, meet different people from around town. this particular one was held at the Montclair Co-op, and the librarian there is a sewer and has machines in her space that the kids can use, which is so cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so it was a great space. And the next couple there's a couple in April at the United Way building down by the library.
Great. So if you Google Boomerang Bags Montclair, you'll find
and especially it's on Facebook especially. That's I think how she mainly promotes the events.
And we'll include a link in the stuff down below, so don't worry. And also a link to the film festival, so you can check it out if you're interested.
And one last little thing about Boomerang Bags. She'll be selling them at the farmers market. There are going to be a few dates where she'll be at the Montclair farmers market
on Walnut Street, right by the train station.
Yep, on Saturdays. And it's a $5 suggested donation, and that's just really to kind of keep supplies going of all the different materials, and a lot of it's donated, but not all of it, so some of it needs to be purchased. Right. And
so Boomerang Bags was started in Australia. I sat next to Claire at Knitting Circle last week, so I got to hear the scoop, right? It was started in Australia, and it's like all about sustainability, and doesn't Claire screen prints the pockets on the front of each bag?
I should have brought one. I did
so cool.
Take one because I worked on it last week. And,
that's right. If you work on it, you get to.
If there were enough made, and there definitely were this week, there were plenty. There probably were 7 or 8 people that worked on it, and I think after those people took their bags, we still had close to 20, which was
perfect.
Pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's so cool.
So, but yeah, it's really nice. It's screen printed, and it says Boomerang Bags Montclair. And actually, somebody who was there was from Bloomfield, and she's thinking about starting a Bloomfield branch, which would be nice.
That's so fun.
That's the way, it's great when the grassroots things really do spread and people overlap different towns, and then it kind of is, because Bloomfield is big into sustainability as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fun. That's so cool. So again, we'll put the links to everything that we're talking about down below in the show notes, just so you know. So let's move on to what's on our needles, because we all have stuff on our needles.
And just as an aside, if you hear little noises in the background, Charlie, my baby's having a bottle, and he'll probably make an appearance in a little bit.
Guest appearance by Charlie! He's so cute. He's such a good kid. I love that baby.
Yeah. We'll see how that holds.
He's such a good baby right now.
Right, exactly.
He is.
All babies are good babies, but that's a good kid. Do you want to start with what's on your needles, speaking of kids?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, go for it.
So, I love Knit Simple magazine. I think that's of everybody here, I think I'm the one that's like the most gung-ho on Knit Simple.
I love it. There are some great patterns, and you found great things that people in the shop can do. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's like
customers that come in, and
I don't always want a pattern that's like super complicated. And they have patterns that have all been test knitted. They're like modern and stylish.
Yeah.
And they're like really, accessible no matter your skill level. And they have like, if you're just a beginner, they have like tips and tricks. So even if you took Knitting 101, you might forget how to do something. There's a 2-page spread in the back of every magazine, how to knit, how to purl, how to cast on, how to bind off.
Gotta love those references.
Right?
Because we all, every so often, are like, wait, what? Exactly. What am I doing? Make one what?
So, the holiday issue of Knit Simple this year had a whole spread that as soon as I opened the magazine and was looking through it, my 6-year-old daughter, Abby, was sitting next to me, and she said, "Mommy, you have to make that for me." It's a whole spread about unicorns and rainbows. Okay,
so perfect. If you're 6,
clearly.
Right? Yeah.
There's
made for Abby.
Unicorns and rainbow pillow. There's a scarf. There's a sweater. But what she really wanted was a blanket, because I knitted blankets for her 2 younger brothers, and she didn't get one because I wasn't like a huge knitter when she was born. So I started the unicorns and rainbows blanket. And it's Intarsia, which I had never done before. So, on this project, I had to learn Intarsia too. But first, let's enjoy Cascade 220's awesome rainbow colors.
So fun. Love that.
Rainbow.
So I finished all the stripes while I was watching Benedict Cumberbatch on Sherlock.
Have you never watched Sherlock
I had
before?
never seen it.
I have all the DVDs.
Oh my goodness.
I love that
One
show
of
so
Kathleen's
much.
notifications is the Sherlock theme
That's
song.
right. Well, that's my standard ringtone if it's someone that's not in my phone.
Right. So I think I went from like here to all the rest of the stripes watching that.
So fun.
I love it. It feels really great.
So this is Cascade 220, which we don't have in the store as a standard, but I've special ordered the yarn, which was called for in the magazine, and we have kits available. So we have kits of these in the store. And
we've had a few people already buy them, and
with the pattern, with a copy of the magazine and the kit, so everything's there for you. And we have an Intarsia Workshop coming up. So if, like me, this is your first Intarsia, come to the workshop. It is what date?
The Intarsia Workshop is Monday, April 8th, from 2:30 to 5:30. It's awesome. I think you're going to learn a lot. Intarsia freaks me out.
And this is the first
I will straight up say, I can do it.
Yeah.
But,
this is a great first project because, literally you're doing stripes. So you're just knitting a little white.
The edge.
Yep. Switch colors for the purple and then switch colors for the white at the other side. So it's good practice on every row, but it's not complicated. You don't have to follow a chart or anything for all these rainbows. And then there is a chart for the unicorn. And so far I've done the unicorn's nose up here.
He's so cute.
And that's his body. And eventually he'll have a whole rainbow mane and a unicorn horn.
But that's really clever because then you're really comfortable. By the time you hit the unicorn chart,
you've had a lot
comfortable
of
changing colors, doing the little twist, and then you're like, okay, now I'm ready to do a chart. Can you hear Charlie in the background?
I think Charlie's ready to participate.
He's like, hey.
Did you guys forget about me?
Just the cutest little munchkin.
Hey, Charlie.
Clearly, he also wants a unicorn blanket.
Oh, no. He has a blanket.
He has a beautiful.
He
blanket.
has a beautiful, beautiful blanket.
So,
I love that blanket. I think that's so cute. It's going to be so fun.
I've got about 50 rows to go. If only there was another season of Sherlock.
I know.
That's
what a lot of people say.
Get on it, BBC. I mean, we've been waiting for how many years?
Oh, we don't know if there will be. They haven't agreed to do it, so sadly.
Oh, well. What are you?
There are a lot of good shows too.
It's okay. You'll find something.
I'll have to find something else. Yeah.
If you have suggestions, leave a comment. Because seriously, we're all always looking for something and
binge knitting and watching.
Who does not love the BBC?
That's right.
I love the BBC. Right. So I'm going to talk a little bit. Mine is actually also kind of a rainbow. Oh,
wait. Look at him.
Oh my goodness. This baby. Okay, we're back. We took a little break because special guest star Charlie decided that he needed some screen time.
It was time to join the party, right? Is it time, Charlie?
I mean, how can you resist him? He's super cute. So, as Amanda said, blanket down, baby up. So we're going to move on to what's on my needles. I am currently working on Camaro, which is Tanis Fiber Arts pattern.
I love that sweater. It's so amazing.
I love the colors.
It's so pretty.
It's
a V-neck, kind of retro 70s, and I loved the equal striped version. So far, because again, I'm constitutionally incapable of doing anything exactly as written. I did a provisional cast on.
I was wondering what that was.
Yes, not a pink accent at the top, but some scout that I had lying around that I was like, hey, provisional cast on. Provisional cast on, and I started, and I got 6 stripes in, decided that I wanted to change my color scheme slightly because it was a bit too rainbowy. And so I ripped back. I have a dark blue, a turquoise, a pale blue, then I have
the lovely acid green.
A lovely acid green.
That's awesome.
Next will be a yellow, then a hot pink, then a lavender. I'm like fumble fingers over here, and then a light pink.
I love
and
it.
then
really fun.
This will be the main body of it will be gray because again, gray. I like
balance
gray.
out all the colors.
I like to balance on all the colors.
I'm gonna have to take a picture of this.
You're gonna have to take a picture of it.
Yeah.
And I'm using the Knitted Wit DK, and these minis are the double bubble minis, which I freaking love. So it's perfect for this kind of sweater because I used one for each of the first 2-3 colors, and I'm going down into 2. I don't know. I might need a third on this guy, which is going to be the last one, the last stripe that's like right through here. But even then, Charlie really wants it. But even then, I feel like I still have enough left over that I can make some mitts, and now I have a whole thing of orange that I used and ripped out, so I'll make some mitts that will be true rainbow.
Yeah.
But I also love working with it. It makes such a great fabric.
It's so nice to work with.
It makes such a nice fabric.
Knitted
We love
Wit,
Knitted Wit.
it just has like I love her bases.
Definitely.
It's so nice to work with.
It's nice. It's round. It's squishy. It's plump. It's springy. I love it. It's great.
All right.
So I'm getting there on there.
I can show you what is on my needles.
On
I'm finally back to the Stoneham Poncho.
Yay!
Which I'm also using the knitted weight gumballs for some of my colors.
You made a lot of progress in the last 2 weeks.
A ton of progress.
I've only worked on it the last 2 days.
Have you really?
Yeah, I haven't. I've been doing other things, but I am determined to wear it this year. In fact, maybe I'll wear it on our next podcast if it's not 80 degrees.
Oh wow!
Yes.
So love it from the good ladies of Espace Tricot. They had one of their friends, Diana Walla, design it. It's so beautiful. So I've got my little pops of purple and blue are the knitted weight double bubble, and the rest is Scout.
Nice.
And I'm just loving this. It's so much fun, and I can't wait to wear it.
I love that Scout. I photographed all of the Scout last night for our website, and just like the depth of color in those.
That's why I picked those colors, because when you see that navy in the light, you can see those hints of blue and purple.
Absolutely.
It's so pretty.
Oh yeah. I was talking with the ladies in the colorwork sweater class, which is this is the sweater I'm wearing, and it's out of Scout, and one of them was working with navy as one of the colors, and it's just so gorgeous. It's got like that purple in it, and it's this beautiful heather that photos. I mean, it's got to be hard to do it justice, but like when you see it in person, you're just like, oh my god, I love it.
Yeah, I never do anything in blue, but this navy was so gorgeous. I said I'm gonna do it.
So pretty. He just wants to participate. It's cool. You're singing a song. We like songs. Yeah. It's good. So speaking of finished objects, I just want to touch because Scout to Scout.
Yeah.
So this is my Dog Star sweater, which was almost done last episode. I finished it. I grafted the underarms. I wove in the ends. I'm pretty happy with it, except for, again, one thing, because I can't leave well enough alone. I'm going to stand up for this. So right now, it hits, I don't know if you can see, it hits a little bit too long. It's my own fault, because I did it. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to shorten it to like, yo. Which I counted last night. That's about like 20 rows or so. It's probably about 4 inches. And I mean, I could pick up the stitches around, snip a thread, and then knit it back down.
But with all the color work, you want to save what you've done.
Yeah, you'd lose the color work at the bottom.
Oh, I would redo the color work. Like, it's symmetrical. That's fine. But like, I'm lazy and fussy, and in some ways lazy making myself more work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in either a lifeline or a circular needle right above the color work, so I don't have to redo that tubular cast on, which I do love, but I don't like a tubular bind off as much. So,
right.
Anyway. And then I will...
Oh, he's grabbing your shawl.
Don't do that.
But he's cute.
Hey,
you get away with a lot being cute and charming, Charlie. So I'm gonna cut it essentially, and then I'm gonna use Kitchener the two pieces together.
It's gonna be very
Which
cool.
I don't mind Kitchener, so I might do that tonight. We'll see. We'll see.
Nice.
If we get together. So who else has finished stuff?
You should like live stream your.
Live stream it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you want to live stream it with like a dirty ponytail, Bravo on in the background, catching up on Vanderpump Rules while I Kitchener, because that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to Kitchener these two pieces together. Late night TV probably, because my husband's away. And that
Too
way
bad we can't do it at midnight this week. That would be so much fun.
I know, it's kind of a bummer. That would be fun. I would totally take pictures, but nobody needs to hear me catching up on Vanderpump Rules in the background. Unless you also are catching up on Vanderpump Rules in the background, which I love that show.
Haley has watched that. My daughter.
Oh my god, it's so good. Jax is so crazy. He's better, but he's nuts. I love it. It's the best reality TV. So that's my finished object. What do y'all have?
You want to go in, Manda?
Oh, sure. Well, so first, Charlie is playing with... I'll show you what Charlie's playing with. It's sort of finished. They are 2 squares of...
Germantown?
Knit in Germantown. It's the Martin Storey blanket Afghan knit-along from about 2014, I think, or 2015. But we are starting our 2019 knit along at Yarnia, our blanket knit along, which I love. And I think this blanket is perfect this year because it starts with this square, which is the entirely knits and purls. So if you can cast on, knit, and purl, and cast off, you can do this first square. So perfect for, just learned how to knit. And the way that this blanket is constructed is you do each square 6 times to make a, probably...
Twin bed, sort of?
Yeah, twin bed size. It's
That's
bigger.
a good
It's
size.
bigger than a throw.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't want to make that much, if that's too big for you, just make 4 of each or 3 of each.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
even 2 of each makes a nice baby blanket.
Oh, that's a good idea.
How many designs are there altogether?
So there's 8 designs altogether,
Mm-hmm.
and it starts with knits and purls. And the first square has both instructions and a chart.
Oh, good.
The second one is knits and purls with just a chart.
Oh, baby steps.
Helping
Leading
people
you
develop their
into the
skills.
chart.
That's great. Yeah.
Then you're excited about that? Then there is some simple lace, like just yarn overs and knit 2 together. Then this is the second lace square that has some slip knits as well as center double decreases. And then they have a square with bobbles.
Ooh.
Yeah, they have a square with crossed stitches, and then a square with true cables.
Oh, so
Thank
they're
you,
really,
Charlie.
it's like really
Thank
kind of
you.
leading you bit
Yeah.
by bit into, okay, you can do this, you've tackled this. Let's move on to your next step. Let's move on to the next one. That's
Yeah.
a great
So we're
instructional.
we're gonna start this in May, and it's going to go each month. We're gonna do a different square all the way till December, and we did this last year, and so we meet for about an hour and a half on Sunday mornings once a month. And it's not a class per se, but I'll demonstrate. You can video, you can ask your neighbor if you have questions.
yeah,
And
it's
we have a Ravelry group, so everybody sort of learns together or knits together, and it's a great
It's fun.
finished project too.
Yeah.
It's a great way to learn with support.
Yeah,
It's like, it's not just instruction, but like everybody's in the same boat.
totally.
Everybody's doing the same kind of thing. And if one person is more comfortable with that and, you're more comfortable with this, then everybody shares tips.
Right. And honestly, if you do the second level lace square and you're like, one square is enough, that's fine.
Then you
Yeah,
only have
just
one
do that
square.
in a bunch of different
Fine.
colors or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Or you just
even
do
one
the
color.
first square a lot of times.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no rules and it's not graded.
So what kind of yarns are you looking for this?
Right.
This is the Kelborn Germantown.
Yep. So this is Kelborn Germantown, which is a worsted non-superwash. My blankets get well worn, obviously. I've got kids at home, but I don't mind hand washing them. If you'd rather toss it in the wash, the diamond superwash worsted would be perfect.
That would be
We've
perfect.
got a lot of colors of that.
Absolutely.
And that wears really hard.
Yeah,
Like that wears really well too.
Yeah.
those are the 2 that I think would be my first suggestions for this blanket. I think they're going to make a nice fabric.
Yeah.
You could probably also use the bold, but the texture of bold is a little bit different from the Germantown and the diamond.
Yeah. Germantown and diamond are kind of like the classic woolly wools
Yeah.
of old. And Germantown specifically was developed to replace the old school Germantown yarn that
Yep.
was around for a while.
But don't throw it in the washer and dryer.
Don't throw it in the washer
No,
and dryer.
no.
It will help.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's beautiful.
But the diamond you can throw in the washer and dryer.
Yes.
I actually have a sample that I'm going to have here at the store that is thrown in the washer and the dryer with all of our clothes, and you can see how it turns out.
Great. Cool. All right.
What have you finished, Kathleen?
I finished my 3-penny opera shawl.
It's so gorgeous.
Look at that!
Here, wait, you
Wow.
want to hold wingspan last?
Look at
This.
No
Look at Charlie.
This one you
So-
can't chew, baby.
No way.
So
That's
this
awesome.
is the second time I knit this. It's a pattern I've written up and gonna have it ready for test knitting this week. So
That's
it
so
takes.
cool.
That's amazing.
This is. Thank you. I'm really happy with it. This is one skein one cake of a long gradient. This particular one is the Yarnia colorway that Liz from Apple Tree dyed for us.
We love
And
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it, and I posted on Instagram about this. This cake was 560 yards. Mm-hmm. At the end, I had 18 inches left.
What? You're a listener too.
I am.
But also, that's a
that's a
lot of yarn chicken right there.
It was a whole lot of yarn chicken. It really was. And I was casting it off, I think Saturday night or something, and my daughter was there with me, and she's like, "Oh, you're fine. You've got plenty of yarn. You got plenty of yarn." She went to bed before I finished, and I told her I had 18 inches left. She's like, "I'm surprised you made it." And I said, "You were saying I had plenty." She said, "Yeah, I was trying to be encouraging."
Right. I'm trying to be helpful.
Thank you, Haley. Thank you. Well, you were encouraging, and it helped me get through it. But basically, I know what other people need to do to avoid yarn chicken. You have to start your edge when you've got 45% of your yarn left. So it will work. It will work when, no matter what size cake you use, as long as you've got 45% left.
So just get a kitchen scale. Well, your yarn beginning.
Kitchen scale, postal scale, yarn scale, whatever.
Will you have that note in your pattern?
I absolutely will.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because if people want to do it in different weights as well, it's the same kind of thing. Like they could follow the same basic pattern, but start the edging when you get to 45%. That's that. You want to talk about Charlie's sweater?
I stole her baby.
Yeah, so Charlie, I love this sweater. This is knit in
so pretty.
King Cole Cherished and Smarty DK, which is this has also been thrown in the wash and the dryer on
and
hot.
That looks perfect.
And it looks perfect.
It
really
looks like
does.
the day you knit it.
Right.
Yeah. I've made other baby things out of that for nieces and nephews, kids.
Incredible.
And,
that
it's really
Cole
nice
is
yarn.
Great baby yarn.
It really is. It really is.
It's super soft too.
It is super soft. Like you guys can't necessarily see the detail here, but yes, you can. I know you're going for the glasses. But it really does look like the day you took it off the needles.
Yeah.
Like there's no pills, there's no wear. Nice job, Charlie. You're so handsome.
So this is the oatmeal sweater, and I forget the designer's name, but I will put it down here. I've knit it twice, and it's fantastic. You start it here at the top, and it's actually knit back and forth. Come on, Charlie, you got to show people.
Model.
Yeah, it's knit back and forth. Yeah, I'll sit them up here. There
Boom.
you go.
There you go, bud.
It's knit back and forth up here at the top, and so it has these buttons here that unbutton, which is perfect for getting over baby heads.
Yep.
And then at the underarms here, you join it in the round, and the bottom is knit in the round all the way down, and then you pick up this. You would put the sleeves on hold on waist yarn, and you knit the sleeves down as well. So it's a quick, easy project. Takes me about a week with all my other projects going too. And yeah, it's a great little sweater.
Definitely.
It's a handsome one.
And I love the way it's like the play of the two colors, the aqua and then the Smarty with the flex.
Cute.
Yeah, so I made one for my friend in San Francisco out of the Smarty with the flex with just like edged in the blue. This one I did make a modification. I used Intarsia and made the raglan sleeves this aqua color because I had a lot of aqua left over. Not that much of the Smarty after the first sweater I made, but I love this Smarty color and I wanted Charlie to have a sweater out of it.
It's super cute.
I love it too. I love that one. Tutti Frutti.
Yeah, Tutti Frutti.
Yeah.
I like the color blocking on it. It's such a great idea.
I definitely need to. We should have a picture of this with Charlie wearing it because I've had some people come in and say it's too feminine. I say it works for either. It's
totally
so fun.
Like
it's baby. It's baby. It's happy.
It's kid.
Yeah.
Colors are for everyone. Everybody.
Right.
Colors are for everybody. If you like it, use it.
Use it. Enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's move on to what we have new in store. We have
my goodness.
So much. We have so much new in store.
We do.
Let's start.
Spring is here.
Yeah, dude, is it ever?
By the calendar and by our store.
Yeah.
By the
Not
weather.
necessarily by the weather. But
well, I will
soon.
just say I'm perfectly comfortable in my DK weight 100% wool sweater.
That's right.
Because it's still chilly out. But we're almost ready for spring in terms of spring yarns.
Absolutely.
One of the ones that we got in recently, pardon my reach, is Fixation, which there it goes.
That one always jumps.
That one does always jump. So Fixation is from Cascade. This is Fixation Splash, and this is the kind of like multi-speckle. This yarn is super cool because there aren't a ton out there. It's cotton and spandex. And I want to say it's a DK weight. It could be a worsted weight. I can't remember, but whatever. We'll link to the correct one down below.
It says US 5 to 9, so that's a pretty
wide
I feel like
range.
it's one of those gauge shifter yarns. So what the sample that I worked up, is this lace sock that Amanda will take a very pretty picture of and put down so you can see the details. And I worked it on a size 2.5 needle. I'm a loose knitter. I like my socks knit dense, but it's still knit up in
probably like a 4 for me.
Yeah, it's like a 4 for normal people. Maybe a 3. I would say a 3 because it's a sock and you don't want to feel the ridges on the bottom. But it took maybe a day, and it's great because it's
so
super
pretty.
stretchy.
Wow.
The lace, I don't know if you can
You can unclip it off there if you want.
Yeah, but I already got my hand in. We'll unclip it for the photo, but I don't know if you can see the lace. Actually, they would make a really cute mitt, too. This is the Mercury sock, and I just did it on the smallest size, 48 stitches around. It was super quick. It's super great. I've used this yarn before because my mother is allergic to wool, and she can deal with alpaca. But she prefers cotton for things. So if I knit her something,
perfect for somebody who
Fixation
wants
is
cotton.
perfect because it's a little stretchy, and the balls bounce, as my sons discovered. I will say one tip: work with the yarn from the outside. I'm a die-hard pull from the inside kind of girl, and not for Fixation. Always work from the outside because it is so stretchy.
Right, you don't want to be pulling on it and stretching it.
Yeah, you don't want to pull on it and stretch it. But it's so fun. And this was, I had a little bit left over from one ball. So 2 balls make a pair.
Oh, perfect.
Great.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's great. Do you want to talk more about what other spring yarns we have? And I will get these out of the way.
Sure. And we have brought back some of our faves that we had last year. Rowan Cotton Cashmere. And
so pretty.
Rowan Hand Knit Cotton. But some new things include LRA Denim DK, which is really lovely. These are...
That's the gray one.
100 gram ball.
Yeah.
Yep, that's nice. 218 yards.
That's a lot.
There have been, we sort of have an informal Friday afternoon group that comes in the store. I have my ladies who hang out with me on a Friday afternoon, and we're talking about a nice poncho, like a nice springy, summery poncho. And I think that
would be so
and we've been
nice.
looking, do we want to do cotton cashmere? Do we want to do the Zoe, which is another one we had last year? And we've got new colors. Yeah, beautiful new colors.
There's a beautiful teal up there.
But now that I've seen the Denim DK, I think that this is, at least a few people probably will wind up making the Amelia poncho is one we're looking at. It's actually similar
that's a pretty one.
It's similar. This is the Glymur shawl, poncho that I'm wearing.
Who did Glymur? Who is the designer?
Jen Weissman, our local designer and friend from Glen Ridge. Hi, Jen.
Go behind.
And
Go play.
basically, it's you make a rectangle. You've got lace at one edge, and then you seam it. The cool thing about Amelia is that you wear the seam down the back, so the lace goes all across.
That's nice.
Yeah, which actually you probably could do this with this as well, but it's a fun one. I think a bunch of us will do that, and I'll bring it in as I'm working on it.
Yeah.
The thing I love about this is that, I love the old Rowan denim. Remember?
Yes.
They had, that just was discontinued. But that was always a little tricky because if you knit something, it had to be shrunk. You could only use the patterns that were like specifically made for that yarn.
Yes, there were a lot of modifications that you needed to make. Charlie is free range baby now, so if you see us looking around, it's mostly so we're like,
he's exploring
not the cord.
He's exploring the button area.
He loves that.
Which are securely fastened, so don't worry.
Yes.
Don't add us. He's fine. Trust us. He's a yarn store baby. He knows this.
But this one you can knit any pattern with it.
So you don't have to worry about like factoring
Shrinkage
35%.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
thank God. That's too much percentage math for me. I can't do that.
These are so pretty.
Oh,
They are.
They're gorgeous.
Very nice.
I really do love. I keep fondling this gray heather one because I love grays and I love heathers, and it's so pretty.
Maybe you'll have to do an Amelia too.
I
or
might have to do
something
an
else.
Amelia too. That is super adorable. I want to talk a little bit about the accessories that we have in store because we have a couple of new things. One of which is
I'm so excited about this.
This thing is genius. Aiden from Acreworks is like
He's one of your idols. Wouldn't
I
you say,
love
Jen?
him. I love him. First off, amazing customer service, beautiful spindles, beautiful bobbins that are 3D printed. with great designs. But then he comes out with these amazing things like this. This is a knitting kit from Acreworks that features their swatch gauge, which if you haven't used this swatch gauge, this is a game changer. It is straight up a game changer.
We've sold out of these, 2 or 3 times at least? Every time we get.
At least. And these are laser cut acrylic, and this little cross baby is so you can measure both your rows and your stitch gauge. And it's got little grippies that holds it on. So this fits into this kit, which is made out of rubber, so it's bendy and not breaky. It has needle gauges right at the top. I don't know if you can see it all. This is probably not helping.
I'll take pictures.
Amanda will take pictures. But then there is a measuring tape, and the measuring tape can pop out.
But it also works well in place.
And it works well in place. Yep. Little baby gem scissors that snap in because there's magnets. Charlie is free range baby again.
Finding his favorite buttons.
He's finding his favorites. This little magnet compartment right here holds stitch markers, and there's a bunch of removable stitch markers in here, and then there's a spot for your tapestry needle. There's a spot for underneath things right here by the scissors, and it's all one little drop it in your bag and go kit for $38, which is, I feel like this is like the deal of a lifetime.
Right. You just spend more than that collecting all that stuff.
I mean, just the gauge, the scissors, and all of your stuff, and the fact that I can throw all of the ones, the stitch markers that I've already collected in here, and they'll stay. I love it. Genius. Aiden, you're a genius.
Yep.
Pretty cool. All right.
And Kathleen has some stuff too, right?
That was just in Vogue Knitting too. That
was it really?
Yeah. It was like one of their featured.
I feel like they're going to fly out the door. This is the kind of thing that, like, once one person sees it at, like, Knit Night or Stitch and it's going to be...
Stitch and Knit Night. I'm going to chicken you on that one.
I can't say...
Oh, right. Oh, well. So, we just got a big shipment from Peapod Threads out of Colorado. One of our favorite bag and... accessory designers.
Yep.
These are Notions pouches. We sold out of these the last time we got these. Like literally in 2 weeks. We had gotten what we thought was going to last us months.
We got a
in
ton.
2 weeks they were all gone. So this time we got even more. We've got so many fun fabrics for these little Notions bags. We've got pink with rabbits.
Unicorns.
Rifle Paper Company.
Sci-fi.
Ever popular llamas. More rifle paper, which one of my personal favorites.
This one is my favorite. This is the yarn bombing pattern.
I love that one.
Which I think we also, so not only do we have these Notion bags, which are perfect, also coordinating lining. Big enough for crochet hooks, big enough for Notions. You could probably fit some interchangeables in here if you wanted to.
Yeah, actually, I have one from the last time we got it in my knitting bag right now.
And I love it.
I love this. It's too bad this fabric was discontinued. Sheep and mustard. Yeah, we do have sheep and ocean still.
And the pink.
And the pink.
The coral. I forget.
Coral.
They all have
color
kind
of the year names. Coral.
But
that's
so
true.
in here, I've got my little Katrinkle's Kitchener tip thing, which I always need. I'm not as much of a Kitchener person as Jen.
I got that down.
My little coconut stitch markers.
Look at that.
Highlighter tape, Yarnia measuring tape. I mean, there's everything in here. I've got a couple of crochet hooks, stitch holders, scissors.
And it's not even like packed full.
No, I love that it's like squishable. And yeah, I have one in every project bag pretty much.
Awesome.
I have at least 4.
Her construction is so great. So we have these Notion bags. What else do we have?
Actually, why don't you show that one off because
this is my favorite. So we had to take a little Charlie break for a second, but Kathleen has more stuff from Peapod Threads. We have the Notions pouches. What else do you have?
We have a small zippered project bag, which is really nice, and as Jen said, always such fun coordinating linings. This is one of the unicorn fabrics that we couldn't live without.
I love that unicorn print.
And she does such a great job, like matching when you do the contrast and everything. So there's that one.
That unicorn print.
The yarn bombing fabric again.
You guys,
Then we've got medium zips as well. Nice
that is totally
orange.
like sweater project.
size.
Like I would have room for. You could probably
you can
put
fit a lot in there.
A sweater, a big
nice.
Shawl. That's a 5-skein shawl.
Ooh, I love that contrast.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't
really
see the
fun
contrast.
Look at that.
Oh, it's so cute.
So fun.
Oh.
And I love the linen at the bottom too.
Yeah.
She has good linen.
And actually, we have the knit night bags as well in all linen, which are really fun. I scored the green one.
Yeah.
Still green, of course. Right?
The knit night bags are even bigger than that and have more pockets.
Yep.
And
So
they
you
really
could put
are.
your project bags in your knit night bag,
Right.
With your notions bag, with your Acreworks.
Or even like I think the thing with the knit night bag, like you just stick your phone, your ID, a little bit of cash,
so it's
and that's
everything
all
you
you
have.
need to take, which is so nice. I'm
That's
gonna
nice.
maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Maybe I'll give
That's
it a
a
whirl
really
that way.
yeah.
It's a great idea. And here we are back to the sheep and ocean
Blue
again.
sheep.
It's another fun one. So, and then Jen, the thing you knew about before the rest of us was these lovely
This is
needle
actually
cases.
kind of how we found Peapod Threads. So
Right.
I have right here is my interchangeable needle case, which I love. It's got like a leather strap with just slides right in right there, and then you open it up. It's a trifold design, and I don't know if you can see that. So I have my full interchangeables here, as well as I threw in some scissors. I threw in my crochet hook, and because I always lose the little keys for the interchangeable, I just threw a
That's a good
Oh,
idea.
a
that's
little
so
safety
smart.
pin, and I
Perfect.
safety pinned them in there. But then the
Perfect.
top part has a full zip and 3 pockets for your cable
Cords.
Oh, that's a
Very
great
nice.
And I love this because as I zip my cord in it. I love this because it's compact. I like having every needle size accessible to me in case I need to switch.
Mm-hmm.
It folds up. It goes quick. It's not too bulky. It's thin.
Yeah, it
see
is
how
amazing
thin it is,
when you,
and this
when you
is
see how
fully
much is
stuffed.
yeah, when you see how much is in there.
I had a couple of empties because I have a couple of projects on the needles, empty slots. But we also got it this time in hot pink, which I'm kind of like, do I need another needle case? No, but somebody else needs this case with the Born
look
to
at
Knit
that.
lining. I don't know if y'all can see, but Amanda will throw a picture in. But it's the same design. It's super clever.
Awesome.
So
wow.
fun.
It's super great.
Got a couple of fun prints. Yeah.
I
and
love
I
it.
think one of the other, well, that's the pink linen. I think we've got,
I think we've got another gray
Another
linen,
linen like
which is like
yours,
mine with a
yeah.
different contrast on the interior.
So if you like started out getting Luca interchangeables, right? And you've collected a few of them now, and
And you're like,
You're like-
they're scattered around.
right, this is perfect. You know,
Absolutely perfect.
keep it all
yeah,
together.
keep it all
Absolutely
together.
perfect. And it's like I have a couple of interchangeable sets, and I like to keep. I have 3, and I like to keep each one in its own case. But I like the cases to be big enough that they hold all of the ones that I have.
Yep.
But small enough that I can literally drop this into my project bag and go.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about it. Oh,
Yeah.
or I don't have to go upstairs to go get the one that I left upstairs when it's right here with me. But we love Peapod Threads. She's just, we love you.
Yeah.
And I hope you have a fantastic mat leave.
That's right.
Yes.
She got
Yeah, I
these
think
in
we were
right
She got these
before.
in right
Last
before
orders
Bless
before
your
maternity
heart.
the baby came.
Thank you so
I hope the
much.
baby came.
All right.
So let's see. Do we have anything else that we want to touch base on?
We're good.
I think we're good.
I think we're
right?
good.
Yeah, we talked
Thank
about
you.
a lot.
Thank you so much for joining us for our second episode. Subscribe down below at YouTube. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. What am I missing? Ravelry.
And if you're in the
Tanis
New York metro
Ravelry.
area, come see us in person.
Absolutely.
True. You guys don't forget about the New Jersey Wool Walk, which is coming
right.
up April 4th through 7th.
So it's a Thursday through Sunday.
Thursday through Sunday. We hope to see you there.
Friday night's going to be our late night.
Friday night's going to be a party.
And there will be Girl Scout cookies.
That's right. That's right.
Oh.
We are lucky. We have access.
This is not to be missed. So
All
we'll
right.
see you next time, guys. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
That has needles, baby.
That's like.
I don't care. I mean, honestly, he wants to hang on to a pink falling iron. I don't care. It'll dry. Special guest star. Should we do the clap? We already did it.
I did it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Just.
We Charlie's got yarn. Yay!
No, just eat the swatches, not the yarn.
So Charlie also decided he likes the double bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
Just wait until you get real gum, kid.
They're not actually candy, Charlie.
Not really candy.